And then there were 4. Now, we all know that the most important position on the field in this game is quarterback. And right now, they have to ball more than ever before with the stakes this high. So we decided today, with the semifinals starting tomorrow, to rank the 4 quarterbacks that are in the college football playoff that are left in order of who we trust the most. And here is what I landed on. First, the quarterback I do trust the most is Will Howard. Now, I don't actually think that Will is the best pure passer left or that even he's the best runner left. He's pretty good at both, don't get me wrong, but it's more about the mega ranger that he has around him. Ohio State brought in more weapons from the outside than the Ukraine has right now, and all Will has to do is not crash the car, and so far he is doing a hell of a job of it, probably playing the best he's ever played. 2, Riley Leonard. He's without a doubt, in my opinion, the best creator left. Now, what he lacks as a pure passer, to me, he more than makes up for with his design running ability and his improvisational skills when the play breaks down. He can turn a bad play into a great play and is a tough and elite visioned runner. Number 3, Drew Aller, Penn State. New offensive coordinator Andy Kotelnicki is the best present Drew Aller has ever gotten in his football career, and now Penn State is able to open it up. They take more shots down the field than a drunk takes shots at Mardi Gras parades. He's developed into a pretty damn good passer, and his goofy running style is actually pretty hard to tackle. Last, and I guess you could say least, Texas's quarterback Quinn Ewers. Now, when protected, Quinn can absolutely sling it, but he struggles to create it all when the play breaks down, and he needs everything to be perfect to excel. He needs a strong run game around him to slow down the pass rush, and he struggles to elongate plays from the pocket and outside. Now, Ohio State's going to be on him like a fat kid on a Snickers bar during Halloween, and I just don't think the stars will align against the Buckeyes for him to play at his peak and his highest level of efficiency. David Cohn, former Michigan quarterback. I'm interested to see what order you have these QBs as we head in the last couple of
I've got Riley Leonard at number 1 as the quarterback that I most trust in the college football playoff remaining. And I know that sounds kind of like a shocker to most people, especially as we pointed out some of the mistakes that he's made with the football throughout the season, particularly in that Northern Illinois game, but even up as recent as the USC game. Some of those throws, the interceptions that he made. But here's why I trust Riley Leonard more than the other quarterbacks right now left in the college football playoff. It's because I don't believe he needs to throw the football through the air for them to win a national championship. That was my thesis halfway through the season. Riley Leonard can't just run the football effectively with his legs and throw for 90 yards and beat the type of teams he needs to beat to win a national championship. The only thing is, they just did that to beat the Georgia Bulldogs. The same Georgia team that I saw Quinn Ewers in Texas couldn't get anything going against twice. So if Riley Leonard is going to be able to throw for 90 yards, be effective in quarterback counter in the run game, and beat teams like Georgia, beat defenses like Kirby Smart's Georgia, then he can win a national championship. You add in the RPO game off that and the run game that Jeremiah Love and those guys are able to offer, I think that this is a guy I trust. Is he going to get drafted the highest on my list? No, he's not. Is he going to be like a future Hall of Famer in the NFL? Probably not, but he's the guy that I'm going to go with. And then it's Quinn Ewers, Will Howard, and Drew Aller. I mean, Quinn Ewers being second, I know that you guys might think I'm crazy on that one too, considering some of the things we've said about him throughout the season, but he still has Steve Sarkisian calling plays, and I do think they're going to find ways to protect him. And even in some of those games that they lost, he's still throwing for 300 yards. I think that he's going to be able to get things going, and you can fill out the rest of my list there. It's Will Howard and Drew Aller.
Yeah, and with Quinn quickly, Coney, like, it seems to me that if Texas isn't going to be able to run the ball against Arizona State and they're still beat up on the offensive line, is kind of the best way to protect Quinn maybe pitching backwards in this game for Steve Sark?
Well, they do that a lot. I mean, I think that his intermediate pass game, that's what Quinn Ewers is best at, and it just so happens to be what Steve Sarkisian is best at dialing up. I don't know if that's because he's dialing those plays up because he knows what Quinn Ewers' strengths are, or if there's some just weird relationship where, hey, that just works out well for both of them. But, you know, they're going to go as Quinn Ewers takes them. He's going to be the starting, like, they're not going to put Arch Manning in, guys. We've already seen the opportunity for them to go to him. Multiple interceptions, though, in the last 4 games. That doesn't bode well. I'm just wondering if that scare from Arizona State ends up being the same scare, like having the same effect that the Buckeyes had against Michigan.
It's going to be interesting to see. All right, Blaine, what do you got?
All right, let's pull up the best list real quick. And I know a lot of people are going to be surprised by this, but the number 1 guy I'm going with, That's Drew Aller from Penn State. A couple things here first. One, from the highest ceiling standpoint, I think that is Drew Aller. Physical tools, 6'5", 230 pounds, has an absolute rocket for an arm. Accuracy is somewhat miss here and there, but he is also a dual threat. I think he is good enough to test you in the run game a little bit. They'll do it. Kotelnicki likes to do it a little bit, but not a lot. And I do think Drew right now from a touchdown to interception ratio is 24-7 touchdowns to interceptions. And I think they have the best run game left in the college football playoff. With Singleton and Katron Allen, you can say it about Texas. Arizona State shut down Texas in the run game. I haven't seen that yet from Penn State. And I do think right now, the way Drew is playing, he's only getting better. I know he didn't play great in that Ohio State game during the season, but go look at that Oregon game in the championship, 300-plus yards through the air, so the moment's not too big. And I think he's only getting better throughout the year. And trust me, Drew Aller will get drafted higher than any other guy we're talking about on this board. So the guy I trust the most, plus that running game with Kotelnicki at OC, give me Drew Aller in the second. I'm going to go Will Howard for a lot of things you said, Jake, and I think just all the pieces that are around him. The running game hasn't been there this year for Ohio State, but it is getting better. I'm going to go Riley Leonard. And then, baby, Ford, pull him up. Pull him up. Come on, give me something. Let's go. Give me Arch Manning. Who cares? They need to put him in. Quinn's not good enough. I'm sorry, whatever performance you're about to put up against Arizona State, buddy, that ain't going to work against Ohio State. Put Arch in. Quinn will probably get hurt by the second quarter.
Okay, all right. So let me because, God, you started off
You see
so
what's
good.
going on up
You
there,
started off so good.
Raw, I'm right.
With making your case for Drew Aller. Are you saying that you think Arch Manning is the fourth best quarterback left because you think Quinn Ewers is going to get hurt? Or are you saying you would start him on the first snap regardless of Quinn's health against Ohio State?
I will say this. I'd play him a lot more in this game than what
he's not playing at all. So
that's no, I'm saying even when they weren't playing him, Dave. Not only for like certain packages, I would put him in a lot more in these games to confuse the defense, whether he is running or passing. I don't think Sark and Texas are using this guy enough. So sooner or later, Quinn just you see the ceiling, you see the limit. The ceiling's already higher with this kid in Arch. It is, I believe,
because he can run.
Yeah, well, that changes the entire aspect.
I get that part of it, but you don't play him in the game against Arizona State.
Stupid.
You've been playing him sparingly before. So with all the chips on the table in the college football semifinal, you're going to totally expand the load that Arch Manning would carry against Ohio State? Have you seen those?
Hold on. What's his last name?
I don't care what his
last
name is.
What's his last name?
There
Manny.
it is.
Yeah.
Last name.
Yeah,
You know
Michael Jordan.
I actually want to change my order now.
He was
I just
made
want
for
to
moments
forget
like
Riley
this.
Leonard. I want to pick Quinn Ewers now. Have I been critical of him throughout the season? Yes, I've been critical. Well, we talk about the ceiling. I'm offended on behalf of Quinn Ewers at your comments right now.
That's fine.
You want to talk about the ceiling? I remember a guy going into Tuscaloosa on the road, playing a perfect game, didn't get sacked once. He's throwing bombs over Baghdad, post routes all over Nick. That was when Nick Saban was still the head coach.
Yeah.
I want to hear any about this Kalen
Didn't
DeBoer
get sacked
type stuff.
once.
Yeah, exactly. That's the ceiling I've seen.
Well, and
I watched him beat
here's
Michigan,
the craziest
Jake.
part, though.
Beat a
Here's the
five-loss
weird
Bama
way
team.
that Blaine can somehow be right. If you listen to people who know, apparently Sark thinks Arch Manning's going to be better than Quinn Ewers anyway, because he doesn't, they're basically telling Quinn, it sounds like, that this is your last year.
Are they, though?
It's like Aaron Hernandez on that show when Urban Meyer tells them they don't have a spot.
Quinn can win
don't bring up
Not
that.
that he's out there.
Don't bring up that.
Quinn can win a
murdering
national
people.
championship, stay and get replaced.
Well,
And get replaced.
So what do you guys say to this? There's a common opponent here, that Michigan defense. I personally had to sit through Quinn Ewers lighting that defense up, the same defense that the Buckeyes could do nothing against. Will Howard's throwing multiple interceptions against.
I'm not agreeing
But you
with
picked
Blaine
Will
about
Howard.
that. But I did pick Will Howard because, again, more of what's around him. And I will say to Blaine's point, I get your list too, but Drew Aller, if you look, you brought up the touchdown to interception ratio. He had a great one last year, but there were games where they never even threw the ball. They would never even test you downfield. So this one kind of means more to me. And if you go back to that Ohio State game, what were we most disappointed in? Andy Kotelnicki's play calling. When they got up 10-0, they took their ball and they reverted back to old Penn State. Let's run and go hide in the closet. I felt like I was in the movie that the Daily Wire did, Shut In. I was just sitting there in the closet, just waiting to go out. It's like that South Park episode. So I think with Drew Aller, the way he's throwing the ball, that clip, I believe, I think you showed the Drew Aller clip against Boise State.
The touchdown with Tyler
like, if he's making that type of throw.
And I do think they have the best run game right now left out of all the.
So you like their run game better than Notre Dame's?
Yes, I do.
I feel like that was Texas.
do.
I get Ohio State.
What?
I get the offensive line's been struggling at Ohio State, but Notre Dame, that's basically their bag, man.
It doesn't mean
who rushes for more yards, Notre Dame or Penn State? In this
Penn State.
Okay,
I'll take Notre Dame.
all right.
Want to put a bet on it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, 50 spot.
$100
plus 50 push-ups.
150.
$100, 50 push-ups.
All right.
100,000. Hey,
y'all should just fight each other.
I get Dorf
right
for
now.
a step he cannot
Yeah,
afford.
that's exactly right. Hey, what's up, everybody on YouTube? Appreciate you guys tuning in. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Also, we're going to be live streaming the college football semifinals. Make sure you're locked in just like you were last time. It's going to be fun.